So, I'm saying this has to be an S test, because Dylan Mulvaney's past has popped up. I don't know why people didn't find this sooner, but it has. And, yeah, it turns out he acted exactly the same when he was hashtag gay as he does now, when he's hashtag in girlhood.
No difference?
No, zero. It's comical, to say the least. We'll start off just by promoting the politics and philosophy of They Live on lotus.com, because obviously it's just new lenses. I mean, for him personally, not to mention just societally, the fact that all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, this is the new thing, which he's going to do, because I'm a narcissist, so I'm going to get involved with this thing. And you can see it in him, personally. I think you can. We'll start off just also by mentioning that I'm bored of transgenderism. I don't know who isn't at this point.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it just won't die. You can see here, like, Vox. This was published yesterday. Vox still whining about J.K. Rowling. What's it been, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years?
They'll continue doing it.
I just scroll. I'm not going to read any of it because I just can't be bothered. Someone sat down and wrote this in the current age and was like, you know what, I'm going to write 1,000,000 words. Oh, well, J.K. Rowling's a bad person. Eh?
I wouldn't be surprised if this person has been paid a large sum of money.
I don't know what the rates are at Vox, but I can imagine they're small given the amount of money that gets pumped into them. But whatever. It's just still the sinking ship you're going to stick yourself to, huh? Well, we'll move to Dylan, because Dylan is the quintessential subject of discussion, especially amongst, let's say, the Americans at the moment, in regards to this conversation. This is one of the most recent videos that went viral because, Cause did. It's Dylan saying you must normalize men having penises, demanding they're women. Normalize the bulge. Let's play this cancer.
Normalize the bulge. We are normalizing the bulge. Women can have bulges, and that's okay. We're not gonna stare at their crotches while they're wearing their little shopping shorts at the mall. Oh, thank you. Love you. Bye.
Just why? Just why?
Cancer on the internet. Not uncommon on the internet, I think, to find such like terrible content as a side piece to any ideology. Just
to be honest,
stop.
I find such material and torture Harry and Josh and Connor with it.
Yeah, that's devious, but okay.
Yeah.
But the thing looking at this is, I'm just at this point, the whole character that Dylan wants you to believe, it must be an S test, because I don't know what else to make of it anymore. And the cringe posting obviously doesn't stop from his account. You remember a couple of days ago this blew up as well. I'm trying to avoid, but I just can't apparently. You can see here that he went on some show where he gets invited on, and the woman hosting it like kneels down with him and pretending
they're
they're
having a kneeling session.
Yeah, they then sat down on the carpet and talked about girlhood, and it's just really weird and cringy.
Yeah.
And it's okay. There's also more cringe posting on his TikTok. There's one where he like pretends to try and kiss the girl, and the girl is clearly like playing into the game, of course. Okay, more cringe. Just okay. This is in between the surgery posting, of course, as well, because well, yeah, that's the other part. There's the part you don't put on the cameras, but yeah, Dylan did. So I have to do all these things constantly so I can get what I desire, which is to be recognized as a woman, which I'm going to do by force. Right. This, cringe. Internet nonsense, right? But I think Matt Walsh is right when you point out that, he's got like 10 million followers on TikTok. Let's just say 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Kids who will go down the same path. Great. I mean, that's measurable damage. But I also love the fact that you'll spend ages, if you look up like women's circles talking about cosmetic surgery, they'll debate like the ethics and whether it's the right thing to do to have this surgery or that surgery.
Yeah.
The smallest things that you could change to a woman, they're like, oh yeah, that's
They have lots of free time.
debating time.
Yeah, I think they have lots of free time. That's one of the issues.
But the cosmetic surgery in the other regard is just a non sequitur. Right, there, whole other conversation. He also decided to host a party for himself recently, which why? I mean, I don't. Do you?
I haven't had a party in ages.
No, but I mean, like with cameras, at a studio audience.
Well, if you don't have real friends, maybe you need that.
You need to buy them.
Yeah.
Dylan Mulvaney celebrates 365 days of girlhood with a live show in New York. All right, okay. The footage is really weird. In case you were expecting something else, it's mostly him whining about the Daily Wire, actually, which is probably why this popped back up. You go to the next link, we can see that, in which he's there talking about how sad he is that people don't agree that he's a woman. I mean, he screamed "normalize the bulge" at them, and they just don't believe it.
Yeah.
They're still like, "Oh, I see a bulge."
Well, that's life. Some people disagree with you, and fortunately, we still have the right to do so.
But if you hit watch again on that, because I want to. The audio is not important, but just to show people that he decides to pull out, and it's a compilation of Daily Wire clips that presumably I don't think he's put it together. I don't think he has even the skill to just open Adobe, but he's someone's put together for him, in which you've got a whole list of pretty much everyone at Daily Wire. They're not even saying anything controversial. It's literally just, "I don't believe you're a woman."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that is the thing that rattles you. As you can see, yes, viewer discretion is advised.
Why is viewer discretion advised?
Because Matt Walsh says, "I don't believe it."
Yeah.
And then Michael Knowles says, "I don't believe it either." And then Ben Shapiro's like, "You know what? Me too. I also don't believe it." Shocking revelations. And then he sits around singing for some reason to the audience, which is cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you're expecting. I'm more just looking at this event wondering what it is.
Do you know the song?
Oh, I can't remember. I think it was "Running Up That Hill," something like that. "Running Up the Hill," Girlhood. Which is not great optics, but whatever. Just cries about it for the cameras. And then people notice that, well, Dylan has a past, and you can Google it, and this is him on some TV show. I don't even know what. Was this Guess the Price? I don't know. American television. But let's just play this, because the point is that Dylan Girlhood is exactly the same as Dylan #gay. And that's not even me inserting the hashtag there. That was his words. Let's play this.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah, you get to spin the wheel, but guess what? You get a second chance in this game first.
No way. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm still in it.
So you know two prices already, which is a great thing. $3.99 and $5.99. Which one do you want to keep?
I'm gonna keep the $5.99.
Keep $5.99. Something else up here is $5.99. You can tell me what it is. You get everything.
I'm gonna say the soup.
Soup, $5.99. It's pretty fancy. It is. Yes, you got it. Dylan's a winner. Dylan's a winner. Dylan, nice job, man. Look at that. We're gonna spin the wheel right after this. Don't go away, folks.
Has he been electrocuted or something? Do you know how much he won?
And hopefully $5.99. Hopefully got the soup.
Look at the other guy behind who is waving.
You can tell the host like that we do. Just let them know. Just keeps going, huh?
Yeah, winning frenzy. What is he gonna do with that stick? I don't want to watch.
American television, folks, but a whole other conversation. Point being, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Average camp man a few years ago is now Girlhood. At least according to Dylan, because he hasn't changed anything. All that he's changed is now I wear a dress. Now I've done a bunch of surgeries. Aren't I one? But your mannerisms for what I think a girl is the overly ridiculous camp caricature of what a girl is.
I mean, we have had these conversations numerous times, and I think everyone in the culture war has.
Yeah.
It's
just so funny to have it, because why did they invite you to the White House? Why did you decide this is going to be your champion for your cause? At least those who did that. And, well, they picked a very bad one, because, of course, he's got a past, and you just view it. And
I mean, it is a feat to guess the soup. It's quite an achievement.
Skill.
Yeah,
It's not like
just choose. Is it $3.99 or $5.99? It's one or the other.
It's not like such shows and social media actually just attract narcissists like flies, people who want to be on the camera, and that's really their existence. I think he's definitely one of them. I think all actors are, especially to a large extent. We'll get into his part of that as well. Matt Walsh noticed it, of course. Just says here, notice how the performance of a girl is not the slightest bit different from the performance as a flamboyant gay man. Yeah. It's because this whole thing's an S-test. I'm telling you now. I don't know how else to view this at this point. Ugh. We'll go to the next one here because James Lindsay pointed out correctly something as well. The correct way to frame this is that Dylan has always been pathologically narcissistic and attention-seeking. So transitioning him, given those comorbidities, was medical malpractice, especially since he's acting as a role model to impressionable youth. Yeah, I think James is right.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean, he usually gets things right, I think.
you can see the personality of Dylan from the stuff he makes publicly available, and it's the same. And do I think it's someone who's a narcissist? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously an act.
This is really
That-
weird.
I mean, if you saw someone and the camera wasn't on who did like that.
Yeah. Look at the next one here, because his background is more than that. Ollie London pointed out that, well, he's one of those Book of Mormon performers. You've seen the intro? I've not watched the Book of Mormon the whole thing. I've seen clips of it. The Book of Mormon boys who come out and do the songs. And
I haven't watched it. Yeah.
the whole thing is kind of a big camp. I mean, theater in general is camp, but the especially being a Book of Mormon boy who's there singing constantly. I do find it really funny that Ollie London's the one pointing this out. Do you remember Ollie London?
Yes.
People who don't. Ollie London decided he was transracial, trans-Korean. His pronouns were Core-Ian. I don't know. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot dodgeball. But he detransitioned, realizing, hang on a minute, that was retarded. that was weird. And now spends his time pointing out things like this. This also, as he points out, refutes the claim, at least Dylan has made in interviews, that he came out as trans, age 4. Except he obviously didn't. Because right up until 2020, 2021, he was like, I'm hashtag gay.
Yeah. And recently, just to add 2 sentences, he recently talked about Just Jennings, who supposedly came out as trans at age 2, that she now feels that, or he, I think it was, sorry, I don't remember, that there has been some regret about the surgery.
Yeah.
Sorry if I got the...
I think it's this one here.
Yeah.
John's found it.
Yeah.
There's a whole other bunch of other stuff that Ollie has put out. In regards to Dylan, though, I think it's just demonstrable. And what's weird is, like, Dylan's past isn't even hidden. It's on his TikTok account. Just no one went back and scrolled that far, because why would you? You see the first 3 videos, you just go, no, I'm moving on. But here you go. If you scroll back, you can find it. I mean, like, this is his Book of Mormon stuff, him posting, with hashtag gay at the bottom in his description. And it's not even a small thing that he would constantly be like, I'm gay. You know, one of those guys. Remember that? Back in the day? Remember when being gay was something quirky? It's not even slightly quirky anymore. It's like not even noticeable in the sense of like...
The
okay.
reaction behind of the woman who's behind him is funny, not paying attention at all.
Yeah, just, okay. Actor doing actor things.
Yep.
I do that. What does the ancient Greeks used to call actors?
Hypocrites.
But also prostitutes, I believe. Is that true?
I don't
heard that.
think so, but well, we'll have to check.
Maybe it's the Romans then. I don't know. I know it was one of the ancient civilizations, just like, those people are basically prostitutes. But,
I think it was hypocrites, but it didn't have the negative connotation then. It came afterwards.
yeah. But if you scroll down to the description, you just have there just him being like, here's my hashtags, which is like hashtag gay, hashtag blah, blah, blah. That's not the right video, but whatever. We'll go to the next one because it's not just one. There's lots of, what I'm going to call gay posting. Gay's trying to enjoy nature, and then it's just him dancing.
Enjoying the weather,
Okay.
celebrating the elements.
What a different time it was when that was considered interesting on social media.
Yeah.
And then it kind of wasn't, was it? In the 2020s, about then. It's not interesting in the slightest. And there was more gay posting. We'll go to the next one. Like a lot of gay posting. Here you are. The zookeeper said he refuses to mate with females, and I was like, sweetie, he's gay. Yeah, okay, rightio. Next one. There's just more as well. Brooklyn gays moving from the city to the country. This was his social media output. This was his, well, I'm just going to call it begging for attention, because it's what narcissistic people who use social media seem to do, which is upload stuff that will be like, pay attention to me. And his way of pay attention to me was, I'm a gay man in a weird situation. Except
in front of pigs.
in that example, yeah. But like that had just long since become boring. The idea of, oh, gay guy in the countryside. Ooh, that's interesting. No, it's dull as hell. We'll go to the next one here, though. Because then you can see the TV show footage as well is from his own account. There's way more of him just being kind of strange on the TV show. And as he lists it, gayest contestant ever. This is his own words about himself. He literally played the role in his own public profile as, I'm the gay guy. Like a Family Guy sketch. The greased up deaf guy almost.
You know, I want to ask, what does that mean? I mean, how does he score the gayometer?
How does he get the gay points?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I think his solution was to go, ooh, and dance.
To go performative.
Yeah. To be ultra camp.
But
that was his idea of what gay is.
I thought of sexuality and gender have nothing to do with each other,
Nah.
which ties with what you said in the beginning.
But I don't think this guy thinks about that stuff in that way. He just wants to be attention
Yeah,
and
obviously.
see the evidence. Because the thing is, he didn't go straight from I'm a gay man to I'm a girl now. Turns out there was a bit of a transition as well. I didn't notice before last time we spoke about him. There's another video in here in which he says he's going from, there you are, this is Mormon Days, to non-binary. There we are. That was 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
He became non-binary. That means nothing. Literally means look at me, as Douglas Murray correctly pointed out. Also during lockdown. Weird. Weird how mental health works. He then came out as trans non-binary, which I don't even know what that means. How do you transition to nothing? Whatever. I'll waste my time.
Most of these categories have no meaning. As you said, it is an S test.
It's look at me.
Yeah, it's just, I need attention.
And then came the girlhood, the final thing there, being like, now I'm a girl. Yeah. I mean, this is why I think Dylan Mulvaney has made such an impact, in the sense of he's a perfect example to use to be like, look, do you actually believe this? Because the whole thing comes off as an S test. And if someone is sincerely going to say they believe that Dylan is sincere in handing gender dysphoria and is transforming into girlhood, not womanhood, girlhood, whatever, then yeah, you'll believe anything. You will actually believe anything if you think that that is sincere. And looking at it, I am not in that belief. Lauren Southern did a video recently about something similar to this, where she was talking about shaming. And her video here was mostly talking about let's say the trans community at large. So she made the example of like when she was a political activist and she went and talked to leftists. If they had actually explained to her their positions and not just been weirdos, she would have actually got along with them in some way. But instead they were just like, no, fascist. She's like, okay, freaks. I'm a libertarian. Doesn't make sense. And so the conversation of, well, is this the case with Matt Walsh and such, who talk about the fact that like Dylan Mulvaney is ridiculous. I didn't end up agreeing. She actually did write saying at the end there, which is just like, no, if you just point out that something's not true, that's not shaming. As you say, I don't believe it. It just isn't the case. It's not the same as shaming an entire group of people.
That's what is very tiring. You cannot have a conversation with people who actually think that, if you don't buy all their agenda and if you disagree with every single thing that they say, that this constitutes shaming. I think that this is, that's not nice behavior. There are all sorts of ways we could describe it, but that's why all this thing is very tiring, and I'm losing my patience. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I think especially when Matt was just like, this is like a human deepfake, or whatever he said, like woman face. Yeah, that's not really him shaming the trans community or something like that. I'm also getting him just be like, this isn't true. Everyone knows this isn't true. I'm not wasting my time lying to myself, my family, or my kids.
Yeah.
Never mind the audience. Like, this is just mad. Like, well, why would you say such things?
I mean, the frightening thing is to ask ourselves, why do we feel the pressure? I mean, I don't personally feel it, but why do the people at large feel the pressure to somehow go along with it and conform?
You mean the folks who will sit there and be like, Dylan Mulvaney is a woman?
Yes.
Society, ideology,
Yeah.
relationships. I mean, I do find it funny. I mean, like, Lauren has had this herself, where it's like, once you change your ideological position, like, a lot of your friends will just clink off, and then you realize they weren't friends, they were
it's
comrades. It's just like, oh, well, that's cringe. Grow up. People disagree with each other. But I think Lauren's video is a good one. I'm not having a go at her in case that's not coming across correctly. But yeah, sincerely, like any mockery of the situation that you could even get from looking at Dylan's video isn't, I think, mockery by even the hosts of the Daily Wire as I've seen them speak about him. The mockery I get from that is Dylan's own actions are absurd.
Yeah.
Like, he is a self-mockery through his actions, and that's what makes you go... I mean, even if you weren't watching, if you cut the hosts out of those videos, like, Dylan's videos alone come across as mockery.
Yes. I mean, no, I don't think anyone would act this way if no one was present.
No.
It is just a look at me.
Good news, though, which is a lot of Look at Me is dying, which is nice. You may have noticed this blew up. This is a show on Netflix for kids.
Oh, I saw this yesterday.
Yeah, this child cow here talks to its parent cow and says it's non-binary and tells that it doesn't use he/she pronouns.
What are Keisha pronouns?
He, she. God damn, I am so sick of talking about pronouns.
Yeah.
Ruin my language. He, she pronouns. So instead, it's non-binary, so I presume it uses it or they, because it's a multiple personality disorder situation. And the idea that you would show that to your kids, apparently that's being cut after people watched it and went, yeah, nah. If you get the next link here, there's the news from the Daily Mail. Netflix quietly dumps kids show, talking with a bison who comes out as non-binary to its grandpa. Yeah, and I get in the trash. I mean, we spoke about this during the Whatever podcast review.
Yeah.
Just the thing in general. And the fact that gender ideology has become like pure bimbo energy. About a year or two ago, I think we were at AA's conference, and someone there was talking about the fact, look, you don't actually need to worry that much about this aspect of the world, because it's already uncool.
Yeah.
It's just a downward slope from here. And I think now, a couple of years on, it's really gone down that slope.
It is, but do you think that this is a bit fatalistic and defeatist?
Do you mean in the sense that it's...
No, if we think that this is that the trends are irreversible.
I know, I think the trend that's irreversible is that gender ideology is ridiculous. Everyone knows it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's not a trend. Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous from day one.
Sure, but it's recognized as such, and it's not really argued in sincerity anymore.
Yeah.
It's just taken as like, oh yeah, that's true.
You're supposed to go boo now.
I'm sure you've heard the story of, Václav Havel talking about his greengrocer.
Yeah.
Where there's this sign outside a greengrocer in Czechoslovakia that's like, glory to the workers. No one believes in it. No one looking at it believes in it. They just put it out because they have to at that point.
Yeah.
And I think we're in the very late stages of that in the West, where it's just like, some companies still do this and pay the piper, but no human being who's sincere, not even those people in the studio audience at Dylan's Girlhood party, I think actually believe it deep down. They're just sort of playing the role, and it's good to see that
individually they may disbelieve in it, but maybe they're afraid to say so in public.
I think so, but I think the S-test will die over time, and hopefully we get a Velvet Revolution out of the whole thing. But anyway, that's that. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on the Texas Revolution. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.